Hey everybody, it's Rockula, and welcome back to Rockula Retrospective. We are doing a new format for the Walking Dead re-review. This is going to be for The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 7. It's called Crossed. And normally I do a video re-review that is like my other reviews where I stand in front of the camera and I address the situation, but I decided to shift the focus to a more podcast-oriented re-review, and it also made it a little bit more relaxed, and I decided to bring in Professor Meat Pie.
Not a real professor. Hello.
And we're going to basically cover some of the stuff that I did in the full review, but Meat Pie is going to have a little bit more of a role in this one, and I'm going to go and talk about some of the things that some of the reviewers are saying. First of all, a general consensus about everybody is that they liked the format of the multiple storylines versus the single plot storyline. What's your preference on that?
I have to agree. I very much like the when we get to see a little bit of each group when they get split off like this. I agree 100%.
Well, I'm kind of like, I like all kinds of episodes. I mean, everybody picks on the Daryl and Beth episode, and I even thought, I thought that, if you look back, I probably will put a link to it, but I thought that them flipping off the burning building looked like an Aerosmith video.
Yeah, it did. It did look like an Aerosmith video.
But at the same time, I watch The Walking Dead like I watch wrestling, and that is, ooh, look at that amazing, cool thing, and I don't think about, oh yeah, that guy stood there so that another guy could climb up on the ropes and jump on him.
Right.
So I'm willing to suspend my disbelief for this kind of a situation, but, as I said in the full review, this was full of glaring errors. I'm not going to concentrate too much on the glaring errors right now because you can go back to the full review, and I do a pretty decent job of going through all of the glaring errors. We may address them a little bit further on in this podcast, but for now, I'm going to put a link on the screen in the annotations for you to go back to the full episode if you want to see me address that. I'm going to hand it over to Meat Pie, and he's going to address his first issue that he wants to talk about.
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to bring up was the stuff between Dawn and Beth. I just, it's like when Dawn gives her the key to the locker, you have to wonder, has she done this before? Because I mean, when the doctor when she comes in to see the doctor, and he's like, "Did she give you the key?" Well, it wasn't out of the kindness of her heart. Be sure of that. Is this like is this like something she just does and or not? I don't know. It just struck me odd that the doctor wasn't surprised that Dawn had given her the key.
Well, it didn't strike me odd at all. I think that Dawn, there's two things that could be going on with Dawn right now. One of them is the fact that she thinks that the tide is turning against her. Mm-hmm. She knows the tide is turning against her.
Right.
And she really does see how Beth is stronger than she thought. Right?
Yeah. True.
So, that's one thing.
So is she trying to endear herself to Beth to get Beth on her side? Or is she intentionally putting her in harm's way to get her killed?
Well, maybe she's trying to kind of put her in a little bit of her debt in that, you know what, you just killed Carol.
Right.
But I'm going to let you save her.
Yeah.
Because she can always kill Carol later on down the line if she wants to.
Right.
Okay. But, that's my whole thing is Carol's still a bargaining chip because she can tell that Beth cares about Carol, and I want to
even though she doesn't know that.
Yeah, and I want to go back to this. she talked about Noah in front of Beth.
Yeah.
And she is manipulating Beth because there's no way a trained police officer would discuss the details of an escaped prisoner in front of another prisoner.
Right. Now,
So,
what?
yeah.
Now, I'm going back 1 second. I'm sorry. Going back to the keys thing. Do you think it's a test of loyalty?
No, I think that it's either a trap or, the obvious suspicion is a trap, but, it could either be a trap or it could be her trying to, at the last minute, endear herself.
Okay.
So we got the scene where, at the end, where Eugene supposedly wakes up.
Right. Yeah. You
Now,
hear him.
I thought I heard him saying some words.
Yeah, I don't remember what they were.
But it was gurgly.
Yeah, it
but,
was.
you'd gurgle too if fucking Seamus
Oh,
just cold cocked you a couple of times.
No doubt.
But now that's the whole point is, do you think that he turned?
Oh man, like did he die and now he's a zombie?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Excuse me,
think
Walker.
About that. Sorry, Walker. I didn't even think about that.
You didn't think about that?
Oh.
That's the first thing I thought about.
I didn't even think about that, man. Oh, dang.
Now here's the thing though.
I hope he's not a zombie, man. I don't want to see him die like a zombie.
Well, yeah, obviously, but here's the thing. Maggie would know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we can remember if she bent over the thing or not.
Yeah.
But, and I don't mean that in this,
Right.
By the way, I'm getting crap from people, but I think Maggie's a butterface. I'm not saying she's ugly. I mean, obviously, she's beautiful and everything, but she's not as hot in the face as she's like a tomboy,
Right.
And that's my whole thing about her, is that she's kind of a butterface. But I digress. So yeah, what do you think is the deal with Eugene? Do you think he's dead?
No. I that, like I said, that thought hadn't even come into my mind. So
okay.
I think he's I think he's awake, and I think that we're going.
You think he's gonna get better?
Well, I don't know if he's gonna get better, but I think he's awake.
Yeah, you don't think he turned, is what you're saying.
Right.
Well, the thing is that she did run back to him smiling.
Yes.
And so I'm sure that she would know, but yeah, that's the whole thing with Eugene, in that, like I said before, is that unlike Gabriel, Eugene has, and here's another circular thing, that up front they've already told Tara that she belongs there because she knows how to do this and that,
right,
and so forth. But once, and here's the turning point for Eugene,
right,
and it's gonna happen. I see it in him. He ain't like Gabriel. Once he kills a walker, it's gonna become easier and easier, just like with Carol.
Well, I mean,
so once he kills Walker and becomes more and more confident in his way to defend himself, he's gonna turn into fucking MacGyver, and he's gonna be like part Herschel. He's gonna be the smart guy.
Yeah, I don't know about the smart guy. He may be the resourceful guy.
Well, what's the difference in this world?
Well, there you go.
Smart and resourceful.
There you go.
Right?
Good point.
There you go. Because smart might.
Yeah.
It's like smart might get you on Jeopardy, but it won't get you laid.
Right.
Well, I guess if you go on Jeopardy, you get laid. But smart might get you good grades, but it won't get you laid.
Right.
Smart might get you, the ability to bullshit a little bit, but you're dead. If you're just smart and you're not, what was the other thing? Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that's the whole point about Eugene, is that's what's going to happen with him.
Okay. So Daryl, I thought in this episode was very much trying to keep Rick in check. He was he threw his support behind
Tyrese.
Tyrese, thank you. He threw his support behind Tyrese for the plan for the non-violent plan, and and Rick was just like, like the Scooby Doo face, and so I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it was?
I think that what they're playing on is the last episode. You had Daryl. He didn't want Noah to get shot, and he's having his own doubts about whether or not to kill people, but that's the whole thing, is that you don't need that in a military assault type situation.
Yeah.
They didn't say, okay, here's the plan that we worked out to kill Osama bin Laden, and then Tyrese pops his head up and goes, what if we asked him to go back with us? Maybe he'll say yes. Right? So, no. That's the whole fucking point is, like I said, stuff and things. Listen to me, I'm Rick. Listen to me and you'll stay alive.
Stuff and things.
Yeah.
I'm Rick. Listen to me, you'll stay alive.
Yeah. So that's my whole fucking point, is that it should have been a Rick-tatorship.
Okay.
So
all right.
Is that your...
Well, yeah, then of course, the epic moment where Daryl uses a Walker head as a bludgeon. And I don't know about you, but when I was watching it, I mean, everybody I'm sure was nervous when his fingers were near his mouth.
Yeah.
But the first thing I thought of was if his middle two fingers got bit,
yeah,
and he had to chop them off, he'd have the continual horns.
Yeah, the devil horns. But I don't think he could aim his crossbow with devil horns.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
But yeah, I can see that. He'd have to saw his fingers off pretty quick.
Pretty quick, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah.
Well, he's got a big knife on his belt.
I can dig it. What else? What do you got on the smorgasbord here?
What about old Sergeant Abraham?
Okay.
I just seeing that big slab of man on his knees for the whole episode. I'm telling you, man, the slash just writes itself, buddy.
Well, I don't understand what you mean by that.
Slash is fan fiction terminology.
Oh, okay. So
for
just him on his knees.
Yeah,
Okay.
The porno writes itself, basically.
The only thing that I ever saw in there that was anywhere close to homoerotic was Rick and Shane, but a lot of people were talking about though him being on his knees like that, and it's like, damn, that's gotta hurt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, and I wasn't saying anything homoerotic at all. That's what's so sexy is the only people that come up to him on his knees are the two women.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And they both boss him around,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. So what's
and then
next?
when he pops up and squares off against
Maggie.
Rosita. He squares off against Rosita, and Maggie's like, "I will put you down."
Yeah.
And you can just see in her eyes that it's like there is no bullshit there, man.
Yeah.
She is not gonna hesitate to take him out.
Okay.
The moment with Sasha and the cop, Officer Bob. Officer Bob.
Uh-huh.
Oh jeez, man, I so wanted all of that to be true. I wanted it to just.
I didn't think it was true for a fucking second.
Okay, so all right now, I think that Officer Bob's story is true. I think that his buddy is out there melted against the wall, and I think that he used that to just to get the advantage to escape, because he totally could have just stomped her friggin' head in and, killed her after he knocked her out. But he didn't. He just ran.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't think he meant to do her harm. He just wanted to escape.
Yeah.
So, she was
one
absolutely...
one of the reviewers that I watch
uh-huh.
keeps saying escape.
Escape.
I don't know why that bugs me so much. Yeah.
But, I mean, she was obviously just completely blinded by her guilt.
Everybody called bullshit on that one.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things of, I've already covered it, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things of if she wasn't stupid, then the plot wouldn't advance.
Right.
But so here's the other question. The actress is pregnant.
Uh-huh. And
as of, the season break, she will have already had the kid.
Yeah.
And she's already, they've pretty much already recorded all the episodes, right?
Right.
So
she was pregnant in this episode where she was swinging the axe.
Oh, okay. So that's my whole point is this their excuse to kill her off? Could she drop the kid in between seasons and go back to work all of a sudden?
Oh, totally. She is one of those people that only gets pregnant in her belly. Because she was on Talking Dead, and she said she was like 8.5 months pregnant. So I mean, she was fixing to just have the kid.
Yeah.
And seriously, it looked like she just had a giant beach ball stuffed inside her dress.
Okay.
I mean, every other arms, legs, she wasn't puffy or bloated or anything. She was beautiful, gorgeous, everything.
Yeah,
this big giant beach ball under her dress.
Okay. So that's the thing is, it's possible that they could be getting rid of her, and it's possible that she's not. So
yeah,
that's the deal on her. All right. So who's the next on the list?
Reverend Gabriel. Oh boy,
Reverend Gabriel Stokes.
Yep. All right. So you were saying a while back that that he's been out foraging and whatnot, and I think that was a cover story to keep the people from looking through town. I think he's been holed up in that church the entire time. I think he had enough supply of food, and that's why I think one of the first time, maybe it wasn't the very first time, but it was at least one of the first 3 or 4 times he'd ever been out of the church that he got stuck up on that rock, and that's when they found him.
Well, the thing that could possibly support your idea is the theory that, Gabriel is somebody's toady. He's, basically only there because somebody's keeping him alive.
Well,
and it more than likely could either have been, I doubt it was the Terminus group, but I think it's the hospital group or some unidentified group, but that's what's going on with that. But as far as Gabriel goes, obviously the fight with the walker shows that he, even when nobody's around to bust him,
right,
he is truly incapable of dealing with that.
Yeah.
And
yeah, absolutely. One of the things I wrote down, and I know it's kind of silly, but every time in this series, when you think you have a character figured out, or you not even figured out, but just a general idea of who that character is, it's like 180, and it's a completely different direction. So Reverend Gabriel, he's I don't know, man. Maybe he's Kaiser Soze.
No, because if he was, he'd fucking sliced up that zombie that attacked him. That's the whole point of this. He is alive because somebody else has kept him alive. There's no. Yeah. He's not gonna turn over and give you the Michael Jackson end of Thriller look. It's that guy is a fucking. He's a child. And you can't kill zombies or walkers or whatever. So that's the point. He's alive because somebody else made him alive. So that's the whole deal on Reverend Gabriel Stokes. So what we're gonna go back to now is one of the reviewers that I like to watch is Los Lobos Negros, and the point that they made was that Gabriel is pretty much unable to accept that walkers are human beings, right?
Right.
And it's because of his interpretation of the
Or
Bible.
no, you mean the other way around. He can't. He's unable to see walkers
as
walkers.
dead. Yeah. He still thinks they're human.
He still
beings.
thinks they're human.
Yeah,
right.
Thanks for
right.
Yeah, I said that backwards. But first of all, I want to address this. That just from a continuity point, that's bullshit. Because the Bible is full of motherfuckers killing motherfuckers, and it's like,
true.
Okay,
That's
God,
true. That's
you
true.
know, as long as I'm doing your work, I can slaughter this entire civilization, burn them to the ground, erase them from the face of the earth, and then spring up our own colony, and then go to the next fucking city-state and do the same thing.
Right.
Don't tell me that you read the Bible and you don't know how to go to war.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So that's my bullshit call on Reverend Gabriel Stokes and his bullshit. Now, here's some other people that we want to mention that also couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
First one was Herschel.
Right. He came around.
Yeah. Well,
he came around.
If you remember, Herschel's whole family pretty much believed in what he said because he was the head of the household.
He was the papa.
Yep. Yeah, he was a veterinarian, so he understood biology, and they were a religious family. So that's my whole thing is that with Herschel, it was more like he saw it as like a biblical affliction.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly.
Then you get
like leprosy.
Then you get the next person, which is the governor, and his deal is that he just can't let go of his daughter.
Right.
He didn't have any problems killing walkers.
Right.
But his daughter, he thought maybe somehow he could bring her back.
Right. Like she was the one walker that wasn't really a walker.
And then the next to last, obviously, Gabriel's the last one so far, but then we got Lizzie, who was just fucking crazy.
Yeah, she was just batshit crazy.
Actually, no. Let's talk about that, and that's something that I heard a lot of buzz about during that episode, and that was children go one way or the other.
How do you mean?
They either turn into Carl, or they turn into Lizzie.
Yeah, but I think Lizzie's sister proves.
Well, she would have grown up to be a Carl.
Okay, all right, okay, maybe.
I mean,
maybe.
she was still really young, and let's not dwell too much on this one, but she was really young.
True.
So for her to get the net so young and her sister not to, and that's the whole point is that kids go one way or the other.
Yeah.
So the next reviewer is Behind the Mask Presents, and what they said was that they think that once Rick and the gang take over the hospital, that Beth will convince Rick to spare Dawn's life.
Yeah, you know what? That's the $25,000 question.
Well,
because that's where we're gonna find out what this whole experience has done to Beth. Because old Beth, pre Scarface Beth,
Scarface Beth,
she would have begged Rick to spare Dawn. She would have fought for Dawn's life.
Okay.
Scarface Beth?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, there's that audio clip that talking about, this is who you are and you have to be that and you're hard.
She also was going to shank the doctor with a pair of scissors.
Right. I mean, yeah. So she's like, she's gone all Orange is the New Black. So,
yeah, hey, that's a good one. But yeah, so like, the other thing about that is if they do liberate the hospital, they will spare the doctor's life.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Only if to keep Carol alive. And
right,
he's still, that's the whole thing. He's still a doctor.
Yeah.
And he's still more valuable than pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
But
Well, and as long as Carol's still unconscious, he has an absolute immediate use.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point on that one.
Yeah.
So the other thing that the Behind the Mask guys talked about is Rick's gun being freakishly long. But I don't think what they realized is that it's not just a gun, it's a gun with a silencer on it.
Well, it's a suppressor, actually.
Oh, what now?
It's a suppressor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's the difference?
Okay, so a suppressor and a silencer are both real things, but a suppressor literally suppresses the gas that comes out the gun when it shoots and makes it sound softer. It suppresses the gas. You can't silence an explosion.
Okay. Well, does the gas suppression do the work that a silencer does?
Yes, it's just silencers you don't have silencers on handguns.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. All extensions that make guns quieter on handguns are suppressors.
Oh, so in the 70s they were using suppressors. And not silencers.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for getting me hip to that situation.
Texas gun talk.
So the next point we're going to talk about is the issue with Beth and Dr. Seth Rogen about the epinephrine. Right?
Dr. Seth Rogen.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. So what we have is one of the... this is not a reviewer, even though I'm trying to get him to start doing them. This is a guy that contributes to my... comment section mostly on pretty much every review that I'm putting out now, and that's Olivella0513.
Okay, shout out to Olivella0513.
And Meat Pie, since he's Professor Meat Pie,
not a real professor,
he is going to talk about what Olivella0513 said about epinephrine. He's going to read his comment and he's going to extrapolate on that.
Yeah, okay, so he says, yes, epinephrine will help. Epinephrine is also known as adrenaline. Adrenaline or epinephrine is used to treat a number of conditions, including cardiac arrest, anaphylaxis, and superficial bleeding. It's also a vasoconstrictor, meaning it constricts the muscles in the walls of the blood vessels. That lowers the volume of blood circulating, therefore lowering the stress on the heart to pump enough blood to supply the body. The use of epinephrine in localized anesthetics also helps to diminish the total blood loss the patient sustains during minor surgical procedures. And he cites his pre-med biology major and just finished covering cardiac and circulatory systems. So I gotta trust the guy on this one. But he is absolutely right, 100%. That is exactly what you would deliver to someone if you wanted to shock them out of a coma. Hit him in the heart with epinephrine. It's what they did to Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction.
There you go. Well, cool then. So, did you have anything else to say about epinephrine?
I think it'd be pretty awesome to see Carol pop up out of the bed with a giant syringe sticking out of her chest, like Uma Thurman from Pulp Fiction.
What a fucking trip! That was fucking. What did she say? That was fucking awesome.
Something, yeah. Wow, I can't even remember what it was.
Yeah. Since we're gonna kind of skate around here, one of the things that I wanted to say is that I think that Michonne's new role in the coming season is going to be Carl's surrogate mother.
Oh sure, I mean they've been setting that up for a while now with the pudding and the comics and. That's... Well,
and also that they, obviously, and I said this in the full review, it was stupid to take Tyrese on that mission, but I could see how if they're trying to keep some kind of a theme going, they want to keep Carl and Michonne close together because they want the average viewer to talk, basically associate Carl with Michonne.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's it.
Yep.
So okay, on to our next reviewers. Well, basically most of the other reviewers that I watch pretty much all had the same thing to say about everything. So there wasn't anything that was really a departure that I could cover that was anything different from, they just agreed with everything I said. And that's probably why I watch them. But I want to give a shout out to Two Dead Girls again. They were the first people to reviewers to kind of take me in and start interacting with me. So I'm a big fan of the Goyles.
That's great.
This guy,
shout out to Two Dead Girls.
Yeah, this guy Kevin Says So, or Kev Says So. He's the guy that's in the position where I want to be, where he's doing a variety of things and doing his homework and covering several topics, but at the same time not treating it like a regurgitation factory.
Right on.
So I like that. Rawrist, I like her, and I like Shannon Toohey. Shannon Toohey's the only person that I watch that has like very short reviews. But the thing that's cool about her is just her personality. So shout out to all of those peeps. So now we are looking at the previews, and I covered the first set of previews on the full review where it was just slices here and there of stuff.
Right.
But then we investigated and saw that there's a new preview, and basically I'll just walk you through it. We got Gabriel wandering around, and you and I just watched this. We didn't even know that it existed, so we're like, hey, we should do some more homework here.
Yep.
So we were watching it, and then
it was pretty cool too.
Yeah, and I called it. I'm like, wait a second, that looks like meat back there.
Yeah.
And it turns out that it was meat, but then all of a sudden we both realized that's the school.
Yep.
Where the termites were.
Right.
They camped there.
That meat was Lego Bob.
Lego my ego Bob.
Yeah.
So.
And the Bible.
Yeah. He looks in. Gabriel looks into a backpack, and he finds a Bible, and inside of the cover, I thought when I saw it first, of course we had to go back because I'll tell you this in a second. But at first when he opened it up, I'm like, that's the Bible from
the organist,
chick
from the church, right?
Yeah,
that's in the food bank. Yeah.
But then when it dawned on me, see, I didn't realize it was a school yet.
Right.
And then when I realized it was a school, I'm like, holy shit, that's Garrett's mother's Bible.
That was Garrett's backpack.
Yeah. And so he opens it up to a spot, and I can't tell if there were pages torn out or if it was just one of those things where it's always on that page, so it immediately goes to that.
Yeah.
But we had to stop and freeze frame it and everything, and then Professor Meat Pie,
not a real professor,
Professor Meat Pie went and looked up the Bible verse. So take it away, Professor Meat Pie.
All right. So 2 Chronicles 8:12. On the altar of the Lord that he had built in front of the portico, Solomon sacrificed burnt offerings to the Lord. And that's exactly the kind of Bible verse that you would quote to your cult of cannibals.
Yeah, to justify that.
Exactly. The wisdom of Solomon still, so yeah.
Holy crap. So that does that mean, okay, wait a second.
I think that's their pre-meal prayer.
So let's connect some dots then.
Yep.
Let's just assume, because look at all the other people. The closest to really religious people we saw was Herschel's family.
Right.
But he soon turned to the ways of the dark side because
he joined the dictatorship
because he was a scientist.
Right.
Think about this and the possible connection once again between Gabriel and the termites,
Uh-huh.
if they opened up, see, ting, the light is starting to go off on top of Meat Pie's heads. Okay, now this is just a little, starting to form this connection.
Yeah.
But you got, what if Gareth and Mary and all of them were missionaries or religious?
Oh.
They were organized religious people, right?
Right.
And they put together Terminus because that's what you do.
Right.
God is testing you.
Yeah.
So what you do is you open your gates onto the people.
Right.
Even though, obviously we saw what they were like afterwards, but,
Sure.
So you open up your gates and you accept everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But who's to say that once they got raped, that getting raped will twist your brain?
Yeah.
So if you're already deeply religious, and I'm talking about physical rape, but I'm also talking about emotional rape.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were emotionally raping the termites.
Oh, yeah.
So my whole point is that
they were
just because Gabriel
Gabriel
can't find Bible, what am I saying? He can't find inspiration from the Bible to go turn the other cheek and bash them on that fucking cheek and then eat it.
Right.
So that's my whole thing is Gabriel took the light, the what is it? I never even talk about that. What's the good side of the Force?
The light side.
It's called the light side.
Yeah.
Nobody ever says the light side of the Force. You ever notice that? I don't even know that's what it's called.
Yeah.
You know what the dark side is?
Right. It's the dark side and the light side.
Yeah, but nobody goes, he came back over to the light side. It's just you always go to the dark side and then you die.
Yep.
But, so that's my whole point is that what if the termites are somehow still connected to Gabriel? What if they are part of Gabriel's congregation?
Oh, wow.
Or, since they were close, what if they were another, church that he knew, maybe, whatever, is maybe they were, because let's face it, deeply religious people congregate together in general vicinities. So, and that's within walking distance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, that even further implicates I don't know if it's implicates, but that even further opens the question of, is Gabriel part of the Terminus group?
Oh, man.
Because, think about it.
Man.
Now I'm piecing this together. He didn't try to get to the hospital. He tried to get
to the
school where
the termites' last camp was.
Exactamundo. So, that, what is that? In the Magic 8 Ball, what is it? Strongly, what's
is this a coincidence? Let me see.
No,
not fucking likely.
No, what is it? It's like evidence points.
All signs point to yes.
Yeah,
all signs point to yes.
There you go. All signs point to Terminus.
Yeah,
and all signs point to yes.
So
that chew on that while we wait for the answer. Maybe not.
Oh, probably not. They'll probably just leave it hanging.
Yeah,
picking up the next season.
Yeah, so we get to the end where he sees that it is actually Bob's leg. And for some reason, the sick dude in me was like, he's going to take a bite out of that.
Oh.
But he didn't.
Thank goodness.
So, that's the end of the coming attraction. Why do I always say coming attraction? That's the end of the previews for the season finale. So, here we go with. It's kind of hard to make a prediction on this. I don't have anything.
Are we wrapping up?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
It's hard to make a prediction like so and so is gonna die. Everybody thinks it's either Beth or Carol, but I don't really know on that one.
Are we guaranteed a death?
Well, evidently, Norman Reedus says it's going to be a tearjerker, and it's going to be a shock. So Obviously, they're supposed to kill somebody.
Well, yeah.
And, once again, open it up. Could be Sasha because she's pregnant and maybe she wanted to end. It's like, hey, I'm getting written out of the show anyway, so I might as well get knocked up now.
Well, if Norman Reedus said it was going to be a tearjerker, maybe he means because Beth and her sister will finally be reunited.
No, because what's his name? Greg Nicotero said something fucking bad.
Something bad's going to happen.
By the way, he said there's going to be like an 850 Walker
armies,
herd.
Yeah, a herd. That herd from the farm.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, is that somebody, if there's a big old Walker herd like that, either that's going to be where they stop.
Well, that is. Remember, it's a half-mile away from where the fire truck is stalled.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just on the other side of that hill.
So okay, well then, that you think that's the Walker herd that invaded the farm?
They're gonna have to go through it.
Agreed. No, but let's connect the dots here.
Yeah.
We're talking about Herschel's farm.
Oh yeah.
And you're talking about the Walker herd that overran the farm.
Yes.
You think that's the same Walker herd that's chowing down right now on whatever's down there.
And they're stuck in the pens because those pens are designed to allow you to go in but never come out.
Yeah, that's interesting. But okay, well, now that you've sparked that,
so
okay, then if that's an
issue, that's the thing is I think all the cattle are long dead.
Yeah,
but the zombies are trapped in there because those pens are designed for the free range cows to be able to go out, and then when they come in, they can't go back to where they came, and the only way to get out is human interaction.
Oh, it's kind of what that just reminded me of is Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one thing about that is the herd.
Yeah.
Now, what else do you think is going to happen?
I think what's going to happen is everybody's going to come back to the fire truck. Eugene's going to be okay. Seamus McNasty is going to be like, I'm sorry, I almost killed you. But you ever say you're smarter than me again, and I will fucking kill you. And then they're all standing there going, okay, what do we do? And I think they're going to say, we keep going.
Well, on that subject, I think they're going to go back to the...
You think?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the thing is they...
Reunite it, stop having the split episodes?
No. It's all about the guy that you should have listened to in the first place. Once again, stuff and things. I'm Rick. If you listen to me, you'll stay alive. That's the theme of season 5. So my point is that Seamus is now busted down to moron, muscled up moron that they point. He's what Tyrese used to be.
Yep.
Which,
Yeah, he's the Tasmanian devil.
Yeah.
Wind him up and let him loose in the room.
Just point him at something and say Hulk smash.
Yeah.
But that's because Glenn is now in control of that group.
Oh, yeah.
Unquestionably, Glenn is the leader, and Maggie will point a gun at anybody that says, fuck you, Glenn.
That's right.
So, and who else is there? There's Tara, and there's Rosita.
Yeah.
So, and then Eugene, if he wakes up.
Right.
So those people are going to be like, screw it, we don't have DC anymore. Let's head back because they got to come through us to get to where we are anyways. And they saw the map. So even if they think that they're coming back to meet them or they're following them, they at least think they're going to cross paths with them. So what's going to happen is they're going to get back to the church having never crossed paths with Rick and company and find out that they're not there. Now, I don't know what's going to happen from there.
Right.
But the other thing is, if they're talking about there's an 850 herd zombie horde, that something's going to have to get them to, I don't think they're trapped in the pen.
You don't think so? You don't think so?
Either that, or things could unfold so fast that they actually completely resolve the hospital situation, and then the cliffhanger at the end of that is they could literally make this one episode the entire hospital assault and the aftermath, and well, so here's the end. Here's what I think. Here's what I think.
Yep.
It's a possibility, but I have another possibility to explore as well.
Okay.
This just popped into my head because they've been doing this. We thought Terminus was gonna take forever. Right? What happens? Boom, bam! One episode,
man.
Terminus flipped on its lid, right?
Yep.
So what you got here is a possibility of assault on the hospital. You know, everybody's dead.
Right.
Casualties, maybe somebody dies. Sasha, somebody.
Right.
Right? Limping back towards the herd, and the cliffhanger is, how are we going to get through that herd? That's a possibility. Now, my second possibility is, I still think that there is a higher power, and what I mean by that, a higher ranking official with a group of people out there somewhere. Because if we look back at the introduction to the hospital, what's his name? Hansen, whatever. I think it's Sergeant Hansen. That I think it was Don's superior, and then Don assassinated him because
because he went buggy. He went
buggy. But what she said, Seth Rogen said was he was getting orders from, I don't know if he said headquarters or the higher ups or what, but there were people giving him orders.
Right.
He went crazy and started assassinating people.
Right.
Don took care of him, and somehow that severed the communication between them and the higher ups. Maybe there was some kind of unforetold they temporarily got overrun.
Right.
Maybe their radio got destroyed. Whatever. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Or maybe that side that just vanished and they haven't heard from them.
Right.
But the whole point is that Rick and company do the assault on the hospital. What if the higher ups all of a sudden swoop down out of nowhere?
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, it's not just the hospital people anymore. It's the hospitals and the humongous. It's like the Road Warrior. You got those couple. You got Wes and a couple of people. Then all of a sudden you poke your head up over that barrier, and there's the humongous and his fucking crowd.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point. I'm not saying this is going to be as big, but I'm just saying is that these people from the hospital are very organized. They understand how to manipulate people's minds.
Right.
They understand how to back each other up.
Right.
They got that guy fucking rescued them.
Yeah.
And if his tire hadn't gotten shot out, they would have been skedaddled.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So these people are trained.
Right.
They're not fucking around, right? Whether they're cops or not, they are part of a system that has existed since things started.
Right.
And I think that there's a higher up that got severed is going to rejoin with the head's going to rejoin with the body.
That would be awesome. I think along those same lines, I see Dawn immediately just snap right in line, man. She'll just be right there on Rick's 6.
I'm undecided.
I think she is begging for a leader to come along.
Yeah, because she doesn't want it.
Right.
Okay,
she is a follower, stuck being a leader.
And maybe that's why she starts slapping Beth around.
And everybody else, because she's terrified.
She's a Napoleon.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and she knows that, once again, we come around to, they know that too.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, we are going to make an attempt to do the reaction review of the final episode of 2014.
Yay!
which is stupid. I think, they just need to call it the mid-season finale.
Yeah.
This is the final episode of this year. Yeah, until 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's the whole point. Is we're gonna make a run at doing a live reaction on Google Hangout at Casa de Meat Pie.
Yay!
So look for that on Sunday night.
Sorry about last week when we were on vacation.
Shit gets in the way, so no big deal. And that's the whole spirit of this season is. This is where I'm playing around with the format and trying shit because nobody's watching it anyways, right? I'm just really glad that the people that are watching it are participating, and I thank all you people out there that do participate.
Absolutely, it's great. It's wonderful.
And of course, don't think just that there's a mid-season break that we're gonna stop doing content. One of the things that I plan on doing is a tag video with some of the reviewers that I interact with. I am going to think up a whole bunch of videos to examine what happened in this past first half of the season and, explore some more questions, some plot holes, things of that nature. And then the big one that I hope is going to grab the most attention is that I'm going to do a mashup of the first half of the season 5. Now, a lot of people are putting up these compilation videos that are like every Walker kill from season 4 or so on and so forth. And what I think is going to separate this from those is that this is more of a mashup. It's going to be a lot more like the stuff that is in the intros to my reviews. And it's not just Walker kills. It's going to be all the intense action that can be mashed up, or what I call a barrage edit. So look forward to all of those things in the future. All right, so we will see you very hopefully Sunday night. And that will be me with
Professor Meat Pie.
He's not a real professor. I'm Rockula, and this is Rockula Retrospective.